Okay. As I was saying, my name is Olayinka, as you may already know or not. This evening is Textiler's August Inspirational session. We do this every month, but briefly, I will just talk a bit about Textilers, who we are, what we do, and all of that. I'm sharing my screen. Basically, Textilers, as we can see on the screen, is a community of ladies who have a very important superpower, which is the ability to use technology skills to solve real-life problems. And what's our vision? Our vision is to bring more women into technology by empowering them with technology skills. Basically, yeah, this might sound like a lot of things, but how we are achieving it is by teaching women the skills that they need to be empowered, because like we all know, there's a gender gap in the technology space. There seems to be a lot of men doing fantastic and amazing things. I was even somewhere this afternoon and I was talking to a lady, and then she said she also thinks that the reason why we don't have a lot of women coming up into technology is because maybe they find it difficult to get mentors because there are not many women up there. So I was trying to tell her that no, I don't believe that there are not many women up there that can mentor people in technology. And because of reasons like that is why we have also added one extra thing to what we are doing, apart from teaching women technology skills. So we're also going to be having 360-degree mentoring for women that are either already in technology or that are trying to start a career in technology. So what this means is that starting September, when we start our second cohort, we're going to have both technical classes and we're also going to have mentorship. So we do all of this just to help women in technology, so encourage more women to come, the ones that are already there, to help them to make the best of their careers. And we've been doing this for about a year now. Yeah, we did our anniversary sometimes in the year. Basically, these are our social media handles. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we have a WhatsApp group, and we're also on Instagram. Apart from the technology sessions, we also have these inspirational sessions every last Saturday of the month. So here we try to bring up people, or mostly women, that are doing well, or not just that, we just try to inspire ourselves on different areas, not necessarily the core technology, maybe in communication, in other soft skills. So this is what we do every Saturday, every last Saturday of the month, and that's what we're having today. So we thank you for joining us. We ask that you be patient and wait till the end of the session. We promise not to take too much of your time. And please, this session is really for us to learn from the lineup of speakers that we have. And also feel free to ask your questions, your whatever it is that has been bothering you. So I would also post the rest of our social media handles on the chat box so that you can follow us, like us, join our groups, and all of that. So today we have 3 speakers. Let me stop sharing my screen. Then I would be with us in Textilers for a while. I'm sure you know Jumoke very well. She's a co-founder. She's a very fantastic person, right? Because like I've joined many of the sessions, and in some other sessions where she has spoken, I've also joined her technical deep dive sessions. And what I've seen is that she's a woman that knows the skill, there's the technology skills, and even the other aspect, the soft skills in communication, how to manage your career, workplace ethics, and all of that. She's giving us a lot of gems, but she's going to give us a lot more today. She is a Microsoft MVP, she's a Microsoft certified trainer, and she's the CTO of the company where she works, Hashem. So make welcome with a round of applause, Olajumoke Toriola. And yes, see, I forgot to mention the theme of today's session basically is we're talking about available career paths in technology. So they're just going to be telling us what and what you can do. What are the areas you can specialize in? Jumoke, before I take some of your time, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Olayinka. Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, I don't know who knows how to speak French here. I hope there are no French people here. I would have loved to say bonjour. I don't know the other words after it, but you can help me fill in the gap. Good evening, everyone, once again. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. I'm sure every one of us on this call share the same feeling. My name is Olajumoke. Unfortunately, I don't know for what reason I did not. I can't remember. So just 1 minute. Let me just share my Okay. Um. So can you all see my screen, please?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes. All right. This is perfect. All right. Very well. Thank you. I don't know for what reasons. I can't just put it. I don't know why I did not remember to put in anything about me, but I guess a lot of you already know me, so I don't want to bore you with any profile. My name is Olajumoke Toriola. I'm the CTO for Azure. I'm a Microsoft MVP. On Office Apps and Services, and then that happens to be on the M365 space. Actually, I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer, co-founder with Foyin on the Textiler. But then please, I don't want to bore you. You can go to LinkedIn, just look for Olajumoke Toriola. I'm the only one, I'm sure, for now on LinkedIn. So I don't think I have any rival yet. So for today, unfortunately, they've given me just 15 minutes, but I'll try as much as possible to make that happen. For today, we're going to be looking at finding a successful career path. And at the same time, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough on the Microsoft 365 certification roadmap. So I actually was going to look at these. These are some of the agenda I want to use. I would have wanted to go just straight to the Microsoft 365 certification part, but on a second thought, why would I want to introduce you just to certification part? Why not preparing you for a career goal? So I decided to use the SWOT and the SMART analysis, or tools, so to say. So I'm going to be showing you how you can use the SWOT and SMART to set your career goal. Then we're going to go to about Microsoft certification, then why get certified. I will introduce us to a little bit of changes in the Microsoft certification program, and then we can also look at the Microsoft 365 certification roadmap. Then we can also look at the call to action. One more time, can you guys see my screen very well?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Okay, so first of all, what is the SWOT analysis? I want us to have this at the back of our mind. It's an acronym for strength, for your weaknesses, for your opportunities and threats. One of the key things when you are going or trying to draw up a career path, these are things that are very important to consider when you're trying to draw a career path. So I'm not speaking, I want to speak generally today, not specifically to the M365 certification path, but I'm more passionate that, okay, let's get it right from the onset. So that's why I said I want to use the SWOT analysis first for you. It's an acronym, if you're not familiar with, for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and strengths, and it actually gives you an objective view of how you can fit into a competitive market as you endeavor to start a career path. So what are the things you consider? The SWOT analysis consider all the factors, whether they are positive, whether they are negative, whether they are external or internal factors, elements that could aid or could also do what could also be a blocker to you achieving your goal, in terms of how you want to advance in your career path. So, and then the possible way for you to be able to mitigate, especially against those blockers, and how you can work towards having a successful career path. So we understand a lot of times, especially with the female, let me not say it because I'm not, like I said, I'm not gender biased, but a lot of time we see it a lot of times that once we finish school, the next thing is maybe we work for a particular period of time, especially for female in technology. After they work for a particular period of time, the next thing is that probably maybe they get married, and then the next thing after marriage, you just find out they just change role. Is it that they don't continue that path in technical again? They just say, oh, because I'm married now, they attribute it to I have to focus on my family and then to be able to get more, to focus on my family. So I change my line. I'm no longer on the technical part again. The next thing, when babies start coming, you just find that the whole thing has changed. So you find that at every time, yearly, we see that decline. That's that decline in the rate of how women drop out from the technical, from the technology space. So one of the things, just like Yinka said, the reason why Testella was created is just to be able to see how we can help each other and also close that gap. Now, one of the things I used to tell people is this, because I used this not early enough for myself, but as I started getting more comfortable in the technical industry, I use these two principles, the SWOT and the SMART, to help me to stay focused and most time to help me advance in my technology career. So that's why I want us to be able to look at it today. So let's look at what the SWOT analysis, the purpose for it, is to review your strength as an individual, your weakness as an individual, the opportunities that present themselves to you, and also the threats that you face as an individual, even as you go through your career path. So with this, you can actually clarify your approach to a variety of professional challenges by listing all the pros and cons of a particular situation. And the result at the end of the day is that this framework can make you make an informed decision to develop a career strategy that fits into your skills and experience. So that's the essence of the SWOT analysis. I will tell you, do not start a career path without having to take this. A lot of the females that I've mentored over the years, this is what I do for them, and this is what I ask them to see. You take a sheet of paper. Now look at the SWOT analysis, break it into the 4 quadrants, and then write what your strength you consider as your strength, your weakness, your opportunities that present themselves to you, and the threats. And then we can now come towards how you can mitigate against those threats. So now, the strengths are your skills. And then one of the things we said we're trying to do here in this is for us to be able to help one another, the female, to be able to discover those inherent skills that you have. I used to say something, I do not believe anybody was born a doll, and I do not believe that people do not have the gift. Every one of us came into this world with a very unique gift, whether you consider it important or not, whether you consider it valuable or not. But the truth is that what determines the level of how you see the gift that God has given you is when you have even tapped into it to discover it, and then you start making use of it. So one of the things the SWOT analysis does, the strength, is that it helps you to do what? To discover your skills, your abilities. You can be one that speaks, you can be an orator, you can be someone rather that likes to teach, you can be someone that likes to solve problems, you can be someone that likes to do likes to uncover puzzles, and then that will not help you. You can be someone that decides to say, okay, no, I like to build things. I like to build things from afresh. I like to resolve problems. That's my own part. So it will help you now to know the career path you're supposed to pursue in that sense. So you can be someone that says, okay, I just like to manage a product, and then I'm a project, sorry, and then for that, maybe I'm a product manager or a project manager, and then the other person comes up and say, oh, I like to build something. You know, there are skills, and then I like to develop. So you find that, okay, oh, for me, I like to write codes. Then I need to go and do anything on programming. So your strengths are your skills, your ability, and your qualification. Not necessarily. So when people hear the word qualification, sometimes people tend to think, oh, probably maybe the only thing you come up from school, probably maybe the tertiary qualifications, maybe your university degree and all of that. My dear, no. Sometimes you can even have qualification like these certifications that you've done, and then those certifications help you also to package how you can define your career path. It might just be a third party, it might be a Microsoft certification. So these are things that can also include your experience, your education, additional training and certification, just like I mentioned. So what you would do is that what you're going to be considering is that what are your strengths in your current role today? That's the question you will ask yourself. And then what other strengths do you have? Again, the question will be, what advantage do you have that others do not? E.g., probably maybe degree, certification, or special skills, or it can even be your connections. You can look at your knowledge, skills, and abilities in all of these areas. That's some of the things you will look at. Then for weakness, you will be looking at where you could improve your performance or situation. Are you completely confident in your qualifications? Those are the questions you will be asking yourself. Or education, or even the training and skills you have. If not, what are your weakest points, so to say? I mean, what tasks do you tend to avoid or you shy away from, or because you're not confident in performing? Some people, some of the people I've mentored, it will be, oh, I don't like my presentation skills is very poor. So they tend to do what? To run away from it, you know. So do you have a negative work habit or traits that hold you back? Those are some of the questions you will ask. And then so it will help you. When you consider this from a personal or internal perspective or an internal perspective, what it does is that it helps you to see not only the weaknesses people see or people don't even see in you, but it helps you also to do what? To see it yourself. And then in one way, you'll be able to now work on that and be able to perform more optimally in those areas that you seem to shy away from, or you feel very unpleasant or uncomfortable to go into. That's what considering your weakness will look like. Now, when you look at the opportunities are actually the external factors. So I'll tell you today, one of the opportunities you have here is now textiler. You have an opportunity for you to be a textiler. You have opportunity to be with wonderful women in the industry, and then we have our male counterpart that are also helping us, the likes of Samuel, where we have the likes of, okay, David Abu is on the call today, you know, that are also helping us. Opportunities that are before you. What opportunities are external? How are you making use of those opportunities? So when you're creating your list of opportunity, consider the resource, the market trends, or anything. So you're looking at what is thriving right now in the market. What is the in thing when it comes to career? What are people going into, you know? Then again, you look at threats. Threats are also what? External factors that put you at a disadvantage. It could be people say, oh, there is not enough job in the market. It could be that, okay, there might be some, it might be even things like, okay, the salary is not too much, or potential competitors, or new industry restriction and all of that. You can look at all of those. Those are things you can identify. When you identify them, you can now make use of the tools that will help you to advance in your career. I get that. So how to use it? A SWOT analysis focuses on the internal and external environment. So you examine your strengths and weaknesses in the internal environment. and opportunities and threats in the external environment. Now, one of the things I want us to do here is you create a personal SWOT analysis for your career. Now, for internal, these are some of the things you might look at. The internal positive, for the strengths, you look at the internal positive aspects that are under control and upon which you can capitalize in planning. Your work experience, your education, including value-added features. You can look at specific transferable skills, e.g. communication, teamwork. If you possess the leadership skills, that's a strength for you. Personal characteristics, so you maybe things like strong work ethic, good self-discipline, ability to work under pressure, things like good time management, Then you look at good contacts or successful networking, just like what you have here today, the interaction with professional organization. You tap into this strength. Then weaknesses, you look at things like internal negative aspects that are under your control and then you can plan to improve on. That's the main thing. It can be lack of work experience, and then so you want to now see how you can grow that. Lack of goal or lack of self-knowledge or specific job knowledge, weak technical knowledge, which is also the reason we're building this to help you guys. Weak skill like leadership, interpersonal communication, and all of that. So these are some of the things you are going to do, to look at and then help yourself. Now, for the external, we are looking at opportunities like positive external conditions. Field is, opportunities you could have through greater self-knowledge, career path you have chosen provides unique opportunities, strong network, and the rest. The threats could be like negative external conditions that you do not control, and then the rest. So you look at competitions from your cohort or college graduates and all of that. You can have limitations on advancement in your field, advancement in cutthroats and competition. Then companies that are not hiring people with your major degree, so to say. So you can look at that. Now, this is an example of a SWOT analysis that somebody created for herself. I think I used this for one of my cohorts. So this is an example.
Hi, Jumoke.
Yeah.
It has been up for a while.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Jumoke?
All right. Okay, so I'm just sorry, I'm just going to round up now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right, so I'll leave the SMART analysis. For the SMART career goal also, it's more of being specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely career goals that you can set for yourself. Okay, so let's look at the Microsoft certification. So one thing you need to understand is that the Microsoft certification validates on an individual scale and with respect to the use of technology. So you can provide, it provides the person with the skills for him to be able to implement Microsoft products into practical business improvement. So why do you have to get certified? One of the reasons is that 38% of IT positions will be cloud related by 2021, which we are in. 35% of IT professionals say they are more influential during cloud deployment than counterparts. And then you have 36.9% of IT professionals claim certification help them perform. Now, Microsoft has made many changes to its certification in time past, and the reason is because they want to keep pace with today's technical rules and requirements. So you will see a lot of changes along the line. Then again, these are the certification parts we have. We have fundamental certification, associate, and expert level. So these are the three major certification parts we have. Now, the fundamental certification is recommended for a start level, ideal for individuals who are just starting in technology or thinking about a career change. Then the associate certification is someone that has been working, that has 2 years of comprehensive working experience. It is helpful for related fundamental certification, but it's not required. No, what I mean is not required is, I mean, a lot of this certification can stand on their own. They may not depend on another. Then you have the expert certification, which is somebody that is working for 2 to 5 years. So now, like I said, these are the new concepts of certification for the mentor and associate roles and experts. For certification level that we have for M365, which is what I'm going to go into right now, we have this. I'm just going to try to show it. I'm not too sure whether it shows so much. Let's see if I can get my. Okay, can you see this slide? I mean, can you see the PDF file? Please, can you confirm?
Yeah, but it's a bit small. I think
we can see it.
The link and share on the chat window. So
no, but can you see the PDF I'm sharing?
Oh yes, we can see it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the PDF file is actually quite large, so you can see for the Microsoft 365 certification, you have these. So I just want to show you something. These are role-based, and then this is at the associate level. So you have for for developer associate, you have the MX600. You have for messaging administrator associate, you have MX203. Then for desktop modern desktop administration, you have MD100 and MD101. So for Teams administrator, you have MS700. Why I don't want to speak so much about this is because this MS500 actually now belongs to the security part of it. Then you have the team support engineer, which is MS740. This is actually new. Then the enterprise administrator, this is an expert level, is MS100 and MS101. So below these, you actually have the fundamental, which is always the MS900. So I'll go back to my slide, and then for the M365 certification parts, these are the exams you have there. If you want to have the M365 modern administrator, then you have to do these 2 exams. So pretty much what I just discussed a few minutes ago. For the expert level, this is the only expert exams you have here, which is MS100 and MS101. Now, a lot of people will say M365 is a combination of Windows 10, Office 365, and then the security. So before now, we normally have the security certification in it, but they just remove it. So this is the security aspect. So if you're interested in doing any certification and around security, then you have to do all of these, which you have AZ500, MS500, SC400, and the rest. And this is still the fundamental exam. Now, so what are the benefits of this career prospect? I mean the benefits. You have a better career prospect, you have a professional edge, you get relevance, you can boost your productivity and enable your organization to accomplish more. Then the good part of it, you also look at the salary increase. Some organizations recognize that immediately you write exams or you get certified, they increase you and all of that. So you have the opportunity to get. So call to action, these are my call to action. I would want all of us here on this call to go do a career SWOT analysis where you put your strengths and then you can know what you go for. Now, the last part of it is for you to do what? Identify and pursue a certification path. Build your knowledge or skill capacity around new workloads or targeted job roles. Attempt at least one exam. I normally say this all the time. Attempt at least an exam in each quarter. Then lastly, register for the TechDeepDive session that we're going to start in this new cohort. So more resources, if you want to learn, you can go to Microsoft Learn, you can go to Microsoft Certification Overview, and then these are other resources you can leverage on. So if there's any question, or probably maybe the question is after the whole session. Right. Sorry, I took 5 more minutes of your time.
Thank you so much, Jumoke. was very helpful. I'm going to bring you back for a whole session where we will spend, let's see, 45 minutes talking about this SWOT analysis, because it's very insightful. I've never heard it in this dimension before, talking about plugging in, looking at your career and channeling it to SWOT analysis and using also the SMART principle. So thank you. That was really, really good. All right. Our next speaker for the day is Adedoyin. I hope she's here. Adedoyin is a director with Microsoft. She's my very good friend. We went to school together, and I'm super excited that we spent about 4 hours yesterday on the call trying to figure out how best to land the content that she's about to deliver to us today. And I was already getting insights from the content that she wants to share today. So I'm sure that each and every one of us is going to learn a thing or the other from it. So Doyin, are you on? I'm not sure. Let me check. I know she has been here.
Yeah, she's on.
She's on. Okay, great. So over to you, Doyin. The floor is yours. Unmute your mic. Let's see your beautiful face. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely, super happy to be part of this. Can you guys hear me though?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. It's my first time being one of the Techstars calls, so super excited to be part of this awesome community, and kudos to you guys on what you're doing. That's amazing. I'm definitely always passionate about when it comes to, how do we get more women in tech. You would see me at number one on the queue of volunteers of how do we do anything to get women into tech. But then, of course, in the diverse world that we are in, it doesn't matter what gender you're in. Just come into tech. It's okay, right? We want everybody in this. So super excited to be here. I know Foyin said we just had 15 minutes. So I would just dig straight in. Jumoke, that was fabulous. Thanks for sharing that. I'm like, oh yes, okay. That's very, we're so much, the content felt very similar to what, wanted to share today. And I'm like, that is awesome to see, that perspective of how people should think about that. So give me a second. Let me try and jump into my next screen here and see if I can share my slide. Hopefully that works.
Okay, we can see it now.
I'm sorry about that. I had my system completely froze on me. I was literally about to call for you, like, I think I'm gonna have to dial back in, but I'm glad that worked. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm here to kind of like, talk to you guys on what are the career opportunities that we can, make in Azure, and how does that compose, how do you think about it? And so I'll just, dig straight into that. So first of all, just, recap and introduce myself. I am Doyin Antiabong, so just simply call me Doyin. Like Foyin said, we were friends in school, and then we had one other friend, Toyin, and they used to call us DTF, because our names sounded very similar, right? You just have to take the D and change it with the F, and then take the F and change it with the T. And it was so much fun, right? And so we've kind of been friends for what, 20 years plus, but that's awesome. So I currently work with Microsoft, one of their most amazing companies in the entire planet, not necessarily the world. So it's okay if we have companies in Saturn and all that. We don't know, but just in case, I'm sure we have that reputation. And I definitely love what I do. I'm passionate about technology and all that. Right now, I'm sorry, you guys froze for a second. Did you say something, Foyin?
No. Go ahead. We can hear you. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, I thought you were making a comment. So yes, I currently I'm in Microsoft, and I definitely work in Azure. So I'm part of the Azure storage team. If you're familiar with the Azure setup, you could be either in the compute space, you could be in the networking space. It doesn't really matter. It all composes and comes together, right? On how do you scale your workloads on the cloud. So it doesn't really matter whether, which of the services that you're using, but that's what kind of Azure offers to say, hey, you can definitely scale. One of my most passionate things that I love to do is to teach. And so I teach and I love having conversations like this. I teach in church as well. That's my faith. Super proud of that. ARA is my foundation. It's simply my name, but the idea of ARA is just to think about helping people to follow their passion. And so that's something I do on the side work. All right, so straight to that, I think what I'm just going to see if I can crash in the next 10 minutes is really more of what's the why when you think about your career, right? How do you make that decision, and what is the best career path for me? And then, okay, well, if I think it's Azure, right, how do I navigate myself within that space? So I'm going to try to see how I can break it within those three. I think the most important question, very, very, very spot on what Jumoke was saying earlier on, is the why, right? Like, what is the why of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where you're doing it? Like, all of those just, it matters, right? When you begin to think about the why. Even in your day-to-day job, you are definitely either forced to take the principles of having to take the 5 whys, either just to do some certain, intelligence or analysis or whatever, right? But the why is always important. And I think the reason why I tried to make sure that we could at least talk about the why is for those of you, and irrespective of where you are on the spectrum, whether you're just coming into tech, right, to basic, whether you're, you've been in the intermediate, or whether you're advanced like Jumoke, who is an MVP and a CTO and all that, it doesn't really matter, right, what part of the spectrum you are in, whether you're trying to define your why or then you're trying to reconnect your why. The most important thing is make sure that you're selfish to yourself. I say that. Be selfish to yourself to know that you have what it is that you're looking for, right? Some people go, oh, I think I want to be an MVP like these people that I'm hearing about. Is that really the most important thing in the world for you, right? So you really, really at that point have to personalize it. Right? Like, you're not necessarily doing what everybody's doing, like the Joneses. And so once you're able to define that, you don't get stuck, you don't get hung up, and you don't get tired, or you don't get bored doing what you do, because you could be like, you know what, I could get paid for free. I mean, I could do what I do without getting paid, and I can do it for free. That helps to also bring out your passion to help you to be all that you really want to be. So I think that's a personal, selfish, inward look that everybody needs to do, because that's going to be the oil that you need, right, without necessarily burning out. Because that's the reason, that's the motivation. Why am I doing this? And then for those who are probably trying to shift, careers where, you're like, I'm a fashionista coming into tech, right? I am a lawyer coming into tech. I am a nurse coming into tech, and that's okay. I think just last 2 weeks or so, somebody joined our work and she was a nurse. Right? Amazing. And the thing is that, everybody has what they bring to the table. So it doesn't really matter where you are starting your career right now or where you currently are. The most important thing is just being able to plot what does that map look like for you. And I think I would show you some samples, right, as we talk, because I try to also, how do we, make this very practical, right? So let's take the theories out. We all know the theories. We know where we can read it. We can watch all the videos, but what are the practical things, the hands-on insights that I could help share with you all on how you think about, the why and how you do the shift. And then why should you bet your career on Azure? Like, why shouldn't, Jumoke was talking about the certifications. Why don't I go do that certification in AWS? Why don't I go do it in Google Cloud, right? Like, you just need to be able to narrow it down, and that's where the why helps you. The other is, making a decision. And there are a couple of tips and tricks that I was trying to just show here when we think about the practicality, because I knew that Jumoke was already going to do the whole SWOT, so you get it. Okay, Jumoke, thank you. You've told us about the SWOT, my strength. How do I figure that out, right? Can we go into the lab for a second? Can we go, let's open the lab. Let's go into the sandbox. And just, let's try. How do we do that without making it theory? And that's I'm hoping we're able to do that. But when it comes to making the decision, very similar to when I said be selfish, it's going to be you being intentional and just, saying, how do I map my career? Because that would definitely help you to make the informed decisions. And so it's different from, let's take a walk versus, can we take a walk to the next stop? You see what I'm trying to say? You are being intentional because you somehow, know the destination. And trust me, let me say this very clear. It's okay if you have question marks along the line. And you know what the answer there is for? Ask for help. Ask for help. Like, a lot of times I see that it looks simple, but sometimes we forget that. We forget about that. And so it's okay where you're like, you know what, I want to take a walk to the next spot, but you probably don't know where to turn left or right. And that's okay if you have question marks along that career path. I don't know what my career looks like in 5 years. I don't know if some of you have done interviews and then somebody asks you a question, oh, what does your career look like in 5 years? Right. I wish you could do some of those memes at that point. Ding dong. But it's okay if you don't have some of that clear picture. And that's why, and I'm sure which is one of the reasons why you're probably being part of this call. That's probably some of the reasons why you're like, oh, let me hear more, let me be part of this community. You're already taking the very first step, right? And so it's okay to do that. So that's what I mean by being intentional of what does my career path look like? And if I don't know, who can I ask for help? How do I, figure that out? All right. This is one chat that I think I've shared with a couple of my mentees and a couple of friends and a lot of people. I didn't credit, so I think it's careerguidance.com or something. I'll probably put it in the chat. Always give credit to who deserves it. Rule number one in the workplace. It just makes you a better person. Give the credits. Don't take the credits. Give the credits. If your colleague did something, give the credits. It's super important. It just makes you shine. And those are soft skills. That has nothing to do with how much your Python is and how much certification you have. Those are things that helps you, right, to distinguish you from the next person, right? We're talking about the career. It encompasses a lot of people. And you'll be surprised, like, why is this person, doing better than me? Why is this person rising better than me? It's the 360, right? And this is kind of what this helps to show the career map. It's the 360. What is your aspiration, which is kind of some way you define your why. What do you know? What are you bringing to the, what's your knowledge? What are you interested about, right? I always give this example about the NBA players and this all amazing, what do you call them, the sports people. Have you seen how much they make in a week or in a month, right? Lots of money. But then I think I would be stupid if I said I wanted to try and be like them, because I really don't have that interest in it. When my husband is watching sports and he's like, can you just even come sit? I'm like, I'm not really like, it's not my interest. So what I'm trying to say there is that if you're not doing what you love, right, which is either your strength or all that, sometimes you may just get either discouraged, but then you're not spending so much time either trying to be so strong. Some people, some of those things just comes to them flawlessly, right? They do it, and then, it almost looks like it's super easy. So somehow for you, when you're taking the very, those baby steps, just start from here, start from the why, try and, the same way she said, take a paper and do that outline, take a paper and do something similar, right? What are my barriers? What could it be, right? What are my achievements? What could it be? What are my qualities? What are my motivations? What is my personality? Your personality is super important. No matter sometimes when I work, I do have a good sense of humor. And so sometimes you wouldn't see me very serious. It doesn't mean I'm playful, but I know what I'm doing. But that's just my personality. People tell me, oh, they are so much fun to be around. I'm like, yeah, that's good. Are you sure? I'm also boring to you, don't know that. But it's all really about the 360. And I just wanted to, reinforce that, because that helps you to connect the dots. The goal we're all trying to have here is to give you, what are those things that can help you. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you have this somewhere in your file on your wall. And if you have question marks in some area, that's fine, but at least you know that you're doing that 360 analysis. And then, I said we'll do some sandbox. So this is our lab. You see a couple of lab slides today, right? Where we're like, okay, what is the practicality? And then here, what I'm trying to say is, it's not just about hearing all of those things. You have to take the steps to do them, right? And so please, try and make a gold map for yourself, right? Of where's the destination, and similar to some of those things, just try and do it. If you don't, find a friend, find somebody who knows you or somebody who has been there before you. Try and do that. And I love the review parts, because reviews are always where you talk about measurements and evaluations, right? It's super important. There's this adage I love this most that says that I think either you measure what you care about or something like, I don't remember. But the idea is, you measure, you review, right? You keep checking, and then, I think I'm losing this gap, and I'll show you some places, right? And then you just keep doing that. I'm trying to make sure that I really respect the time, but this is homework, right? So we have homeworks that we'll take out of today's session. Go to the roadmap and just try and figure it out. Do I still want to get to the destination maybe 6 months, right? Won't get to Christmas and you're still looking at that stuff. Do I still really want to do that with all the new information? I can't even imagine 10 years ago where maybe ERP implementation was the thing, right? And today it's the cloud, right? For some of us that have been 15, 20 years in the industry, then I could remember everybody wanted to be the person that could, deploy SAP or whatever. Like ERP implementation was the thing. Today it's the cloud. We don't know what it is, in the next 5 years. People say data is the new oil. Now it's all about data, right? So you keep to checking. Do I still want to get to that destination I said I wanted to? Because that helps you to have that continuous improvement for yourself. Okay. All right. The other thing that we're going to do in the lab is you leverage the power of LinkedIn. Right. I personally do this sometimes for myself. And so I'm going to personalize this a lot, because the idea is also sharing, like whatever I do and what is my story, and just kind of help you. I know what my own destination is, and I know what my career, roadmap looks like. And I just kind of, I keep checking, and I'm like, okay, well, I just Google what are the 20 people in tech. It's tech. That's my baby. That's my space. I don't think I probably will leave there. I do have some ideas, and I'll share that with you at the end. But when I say I probably won't leave there, but I do, I look at them and think, oh, who are these people? And then I get curious, right? Like, what did they do? What's their story, right? What are their mistakes, so that I don't make them again? You know what I mean? Do they have a book? I grab it, I try to read it, because I may not have that direct relationship with them or the direct access, but you can, even from a distance. I'm just trying to say, like, it's all attainable. Does that make sense? And this is just an example. I was just, trying to use my own personal what I do, but you have to do it for yourself based on what your definition of your, map or your definition is. But this is just an example of, leverage that, what we have out there. And you'll be surprised, all the information that you could even have. And then, do your gap analysis. Your gap analysis is very similar to, the SWOT analysis. Like, what am I missing? If I say that I want to be a CEO, for example, in the next 5 years, and I look at what is the expectation or what is the profile, I read their biographies. I'm like, okay, well, and then I try to insert my name over doing this. Oh, I'm missing this. And then I'm looking for the next project or the next opportunity or the next initiative that would scale me or stretch me, right, to get that kind of a goal. And that's the same thing you need to do for yourself. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm breezing through this because you told me just, a few minutes, but I'm hoping that it's helpful, even though it probably looks like a rush. Another example, and like I said, today is all practicals. We're not doing the whole theory. We all know the theories. Today is just, we're in the sandbox, right? Just the practicals. How do I really do it? And they might seem obvious, and that's okay. And for somebody who is like, I didn't even think about this, then that will be, my own satisfaction that at least somebody's able to take something out of the practicals. The other thing is about case studies. I find case studies super powerful. and you would even be amazed how much more wealth of information is in there. Typically, take case studies, usually like, in the industry where people say, well, how did we do this? What did we do wrong? What did we learn from it and how are we changing it? And so you have a lot of information in there where, why would you want to make the same wrong mistake? I would not be surprised if somebody has written a case study on how to pass XYZ certification, because they probably would have told you what they did wrong and what they missed or something, right? Maybe I read the textbook from the back to the front, I read from the back. You would just be surprised. You just never know. And that's what this case studies help to provide, and bring that back into tech, bring that back into, delivery or career. They do help, right? I think that it is just a principle. You can apply this principle in any form, shape, or manner. Does that make sense? Like, you can apply it either on the job, but case studies are really, really powerful artifacts that they help provide information from a dimension of what did we do? What did we do wrong? What did we learn from it? How did we improve? So, well, I'm like, why do I have to rebuild the ocean? Right? Don't reinvent the wheel. There's no point to start from the scratch. No, you don't have to. Think about it. Even in business models today, people don't start from the scratch. Amazon started something, it made sense. Okay, Jimmy, I said, I'm going to do the same model. Like, why do you have to start all over again? The world is just so big. Add your flavor to it, add your own niche to it, add your own ingenuity to it, right? And so this helps, okay? And then just kind of summarizing some of those things when you think about making the decisions, right? Like, be intentional, be selfish to yourself. I was joking with Foyin yesterday. I said, even the scripture says, love your neighbor as yourself. So don't expect me to love you more than I love myself, right? It's as yourself. That was the instruction. Love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, how do I love myself? So you really, really have to think about yourself. Be selfish about your career. Be intentional about it. It is yours, and you define that. You push yourself to the next level where you want to go. Think about what are the transferable skills. Do not let, like I said about where you're coming from, don't let that limit you. If you're a sales manager or I use the fashion industry example a lot, you're a fashionista. Right? It means you do designs. It means you're great with colors. It means you're great pitching that. Okay, how do you transfer that skill to being a UX designer in the cloud environment? So you know how you look at somebody's platform and you're like, who put this thing together, for crying out loud? Right? They are transferable skills that you can take from one career to the other. Do not let that limit you. You have to do that self-assessment of what am I really great at? And that's what I mean by superpower. What is your superpower? What would you do for free? My superpower is when I think about my experiences, right? I've had opportunities to work with Fortune 500 companies, right, in all of my career, and I'm really, really grateful and humbled by that. And I think I've worked, when I think about processes, right? I've done that. When I was at Accenture as a management consultant, I'm like, okay, yeah, I did processes. Okay, that's great. Oh, and then I think about it. Oh, I did systems, right? I did implementations. I did ERPs. I did Workday. I did all of that. Oh, that's great. And then I did people. And so when you think about that, think about it like a Venn diagram, people, systems, technology. I find myself in the sweet spot, just right there in the center. And I always use that to pitch. This is my superpower. And the insight and the analysis, some of those examples I gave you. Well, who is doing this? Okay, well, just taking out your own time to do it helps you. And then I'll just breeze to breeze in terms of just bringing it home, right? And just, tying it all together in terms of the career opportunities, right? There are lots of stuff you can do in Azure. But first of all, remember why. Why didn't you go why didn't you go somewhere else? I'm not going to try and be too technical about this, but I think for Azure, if there's anything, when I think about, our bosses, Cohort, Jason, Xander, it's Cohort first, and that's it. Because we're like, people are betting their entire businesses and lives on our cloud, and so quality comes first. And the business continues to, innovate. So why not? Why wouldn't I bet my career on that, right? And then for you, when you think about that, okay, well, how can I come in? What is that place I can use to get a foot in the door, right? This is some of the opportunities that, well, yeah, you can do that either based on, what you already know or what certifications that you're using to build to get to that destination, right? Remember we talked about the map. And so this is some of the roles and the opportunities that you're going to get into, right? And I know you can read this anywhere, but the most important thing is about you helping you to make that best of decisions of what is that next career for me. And I know I'm almost at time, but this is the vast of it, that you would even when you think about the job postings or the job opportunities out there, when people are like, well, this is an opportunity, you will see them defined along this job catalog definitions, if that makes sense, consistently. And I'll show you an example. Let's go back to the lab for 1 second. A software engineer, right? This is like the industry definition of what a software engineer should be. A software engineer, you take this. Now, remember when I talked about you doing your analysis and you doing your gap to make sure that you're filling in the blanks, right? Of what do I need to be that person? What do I need to be a software engineer? So Yinka, I use it for an example, right? If Yinka takes the software engineer definition and says, I am a software engineer. So take your name, put your name, right? I see names on the chat. Florence, put your name. Sarah, put your name, right? Chinyere, put your name. Rose, put your name. And think about what that definition is. It's high level, that's great. But you just think about it for a second. Some of the reds are like, oh, are those the gaps that I have when it comes to skill sets, right? A software engineer does what estimate cost. For somebody, they may never know what that is, right? They might not even know what does it even mean to manage risk. I always thought I just needed to code. Do I need to manage risk now? Do I need to understand what risk mitigation is, right? So all of that helps you as you're defining your career and defining what is the next certification I would take, what is the textile deep dive track I should take. When you're able to then begin to use all of those things to plug the hole for yourself, same thing for service engineers, same thing for cloud solutions architecture. And I think Foyin is going to probably share this, so I'll probably just breeze through it. But I want to be a CSA as well. Oh, well, you should be the voice of the customer. Are you that person like, well, you would be the referee all the time? Like the customer wants this and then the engineer is saying this. All of that, applies. And you bring your soft skills, your transferable skills, your roadmap, you bring all of that to bring it home. But most importantly, think about the impact. I want you, if you don't learn anything at all, I want you to go away from saying, you know what, I don't want to ever do work. I want to create impact. I don't want to ever do work. I want to create impact. And that's how you should always think about everything that you do. So even when you then apply that, right, that philosophy or that principle, even as an engineer, and you're writing all those codes, right? I, expecting that you're thinking about this when you're putting your quality codes out, right? Is it secure? Is it performant? Is it reusable? I've seen lines of codes, right? There are lines of code and you're like, okay, how do you even start from there? All of those things just gives you that difference, gives you the edge, makes you that different person when you think about everybody else in your line of your career. All of those things are important, right? All of those things are important. I was going to bring us to the lab, but I know Foyin is already saying that you're out of time and that's okay. But I was trying to say here that it doesn't even really matter, right? As you think about those career opportunities, like I want to join Azure or whatever, it doesn't matter what language you speak. The most important thing is that you try to build yourself in one of them, because you're going to, have to understand the language if you want to come into the engineering space. You do the CV classes. Some people call it CV classes, some people call it C++. That's okay. Do you do, Python? Do you do Java? Do you do Golang? And a lot of them are free. What do you do at night? Like, what do you do with your spare time? What do you do with your spare time? These are the places where you help yourself to develop and grow, and then you're just stretching. But even when we bring it back down home to these career opportunities, which I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter, right? And then the other tip I was going to give to you is free trials. Who doesn't love freebies? I do. I do. I was watching a Warren Buffett video the other day. He's one of the richest people in the world. Guess what? He went back home for a coupon. I'm like, okay, right? It was great for someone. Then he said, oh, there was a coupon, and then he took the coupon. Why not if not? I'm like, this is billions of person, right? It's still a coupon. It's a freebie anyway. Why not if not? And so, just take opportunity of some of the things that are out there. You have no excuse, right? Take opportunities of them, try them, start a free trial. Don't forget to put the date in your calendar if you don't want to get charged. That's a tip and trick, just in case you have not made a decision to keep paying. But there's so many things out there, right, that you can use to at least even, validate your curiosity. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm curious about this. I'm curious about GitHub. I'm curious about this. There's a whole lot out there. If you're not doing that, then at least learn from this. You don't need to go to a boot camp to know what it is to write a Microsoft certification. One of the things that we do is just putting all the information out there. So I did put some sites here that you can live in for the next 2 weeks or 2 months, and you would not exhaust the amount of resource or information there, right? So use that to your advantage, everything you need. I'm sure some of the stuff that Jimmy was sharing about the MVP career, I can guarantee that we have a on-demand class there, learn it at your own pace class. Like, what is your excuse? That's my challenge to you today. What is your excuse, right? Not to take your career in your hands, figure it out and use all you have there. So don't forget the free trials. I do that too. And then do the investigation. And this, I always find this tip very, very, very useful. Okay, we talked about, oh, there's software engineer, there's this engineer, there's that engineer. Okay, go to careers. I really don't care, careers.textilia.com. Just in case Foyin is hiring. Doesn't matter. Careers. Where is Jimmy working again? Careers. How do you pronounce that?
Azure.
Yes, careers.azure.com. It doesn't matter. Type in, what that stuff you had in your goal map, put it in there. You would see loads of information, and then you take it similar to the analysis we did where we say Inca was this and like I don't know what estimate cost is. Take all of that and then look at the words. What am I missing? They are looking for something like this. I have this gap. That becomes your gap analysis, right? And then you create a plan to fill it. Okay, I'm going to do this certification in the next 6 months to understand what it means to write this, because they said most of the jobs I saw do this. If you're not doing that homework, then you're not ready. Like, you need to take that passion that you have and do a lot of the investigation yourself. All of these things, it will take you to burn the midnight hour, but when the money is there, you have everything, and then you're already ready, right? And so after all said and done, right, I always tell people, your career, some of the obstacles you have might not be having a terrible boss, or the benefits in this company is not so great, or the working environment is not so diverse. A lot of it, those will happen, and I'm not saying they're not valid, but the biggest obstacle is going to be time. Now, when we just even think about all the lab things, all the sandbox and all the homeworks that we talked about today, that's a lot of work if you really, really take it to heart, right? Of just finding that information and working on it. So time is going to be your biggest obstacle. But then I always tell myself, Jeff Bezos, Warren, and all those other people that I'm looking to and inspired by, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. They don't have a special time, except somebody wants to tell me they do. Please let me know. I really, really want to sign up. I want to sign up in that place just in case they do. But we all have the same 24 hours. And I get it. Some of us are even moms. I have toddlers, right? Like, how do you just navigate it all in that 24 hours? So maybe the first thing you need to do is go take a time management class. Just maybe. Maybe it's not the MVP certification. Maybe that's where you need to start from. Because you need to be able to figure it all out within the 24 hours that we all have every day. All right. I hope I hope that was super insightful to you, but just be curious, be curious. Who's done it before? Why did they do it? Be hungry and stay in the place of preparation, because when the opportunity comes, nobody's going to give you a memo, right? It's just going to be, oh, there's a job stuff. Are you available? And that's it. All right. I have to go on mute because my son is probably like, Mommy, where are you? You've been talking for forever. But that's the call to action. Just do the decision. Stay committed, do the homeworks, and then register for the Techstyle. It's free. It's an opportunity. We are all here, so we are all here supporting each other. That's what the community is for. And that's it. Sorry, David, I took so much of your time, but I'm sorry. But I hope this was helpful. Any questions or? Happy to take it. Sorry, Yinka, you had your hands up for a while. I am so sorry. I was looking at the other screen for my slide, but I'm happy to take that. Please go ahead.
It wasn't a question. It's okay. You can just move on.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Doyin. Was fantastic session. Like I said, I myself am taking notes, and I know my next point of call is to start to do my gap analysis. I always have it in my head, but I think it's time to put it down, into my OneNote and say, okay, these are my gap analysis, and how do I get from A, where I am, to point B and C, and how do I start to do them? And it's not just tech gaps. because I know we techies always focus on technology gaps, so it's all round the soft skills and every other thing, I even learn a bit of management, because as you start to climb the ladder, you have to understand finances, you have to understand the books, the numbers, the budgets, so please, let's not all be all focused on technology. All right, thank you, Doyin, so much. We appreciate the time, preparation, and everything you put in. We are grateful. All right, up next is David. David is our personal person. He's connected to almost most of us on the call as a friend, as a mentor to some of the people starting out in data, as a brother to some of us, and he's recently moved to Microsoft. As I told him, he's a big boy now as a cloud advocate. And he's just a cloud advocate in Power BI, and he's going to talk to us today about the Power Platform. What are the career opportunities available in Power Platform? Why should you be betting your career in the Power Platform? And take it over, David. You have the floor. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. And we can see you too.
Okay, so everybody can see my face. Okay, so I'm in the hotel and I think the light is bad, so I'm just going to go off right now. So sorry about that. Okay, so the problem about presentation is that when you have somebody like Madam Olajumoke presented and you have Madam Doyin presented, so there's a big problem. So what you people will help me and do is that there's a standard already. I will not meet that standard. So don't get angry with the standard that they've done. Yeah, so just follow me and let me just be myself. So I can't meet their standard. They are my bosses, so I won't meet their standard. I'm not even fighting. So I'm not fighting. So thank you for bringing me in, my sister Foyin. Thank you for bringing me in. I'm happy coming here. I think this is my first time. Yeah, this is my first time. So thank you, everybody. So let's dive into. So my own is practical, and I'll make sure that I'm in 15 minutes. So this is 9:13. So I should be done by 9:28. So let's see. So I'm going to share my screen right now. So let me see. So I'm going to take you online first. So if you can see my Google Chrome, let me know. I just want somebody to just tell me. I'm actually using one screen right now. So can anybody see my Google Chrome? Anybody? So I want somebody to just tell me yes, no. Yes, I can't see the chat right now. Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So now I've typed. So what we want to talk about right now is Power Platform career opportunities. For other speakers have done justice to the Microsoft 365 and the Azure. So we're just going to dive into the Power Platform. So, okay. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? I hope.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so sorry, the network is just bad. I'm not in Lagos right now, so the network is bad. Okay, so this is what we did. So I went into this and I said, okay, Power Platform jobs on Google, and we have all this right now that we are used, that I can see, that we all can see. So we have 526 Microsoft Power Platform job, total jobs. And we went into one of them, and we can see the Power Apps developer in Lagos. We have BI analyst in Lagos. So if you look at them, really, when you want to go into a skill itself, the first question you want to ask majorly, the real truth is that, how am I sure I'll get a job? That is the real truth. How am I sure I'm getting a job? So the first thing I do when I need to ask myself that question is for me to just go online and say, okay, are there jobs? Are there jobs? Even in Nigeria, are there jobs? So this is what I did. So we just do a practical aspect to it, and you can just have a job alert. When you have that job alert, it means that anytime the position of anything called Power Platform is being posted, you can always apply for them. So we have the one on Indeed, and you can see the different posts that we have. We have up to 70 of them, and you can always apply. This is like 10 days ago. A project manager who is using, I think, Power BI, if you click on it, but because of time, but this is the whole stuff. The whole idea I want you to look at is that there are jobs. You just need to ask yourself, what are the skills that people need to get that job? It's as simple as that, really. People say, oh, is that simple to get a job? It's simple. The point is just the time management that Adedoyin spoke about. If you can get that time management, get the skills, get the certification needed, and you're good to go. And you can always apply. Another thing is that you can always share your story. The major thing most people think is that social media or LinkedIn or Twitter should be the place where you share your success story. No, you share where you feel, where you got it right, where you feel, where you got it right, where you're having issues. People are not looking for people who are the best, because really, there is really not the best person when it comes to a certain skill itself. I really don't believe that, oh, this person knows everything about it. Nobody knows, because these technologies improve every month, like every month. Microsoft technologies improve every month. There's a new update. So somebody who is good today might not be good tomorrow, another person. So the idea is that for every skills you have, you should always just strive to get better. That is just get better. Just get better. Oh, I'm getting better. As simple as that. So I'm going to go into, now that you've understood the whole finding what they are, you can just look at their description. You can now look at their skills. What are the responsibilities and skills? So we know that skill right now. So look at this one here. If you see this, it says understanding of Microsoft Power Platform, Dynamics 365, and Azure. Imagine, because this is a solution lead, so they want you to have every other thing, like everything, and that's just like cloud computing itself. So if you can have the idea like that, then you're good to go. So it's just for you to understand them, and the real truth is that they are not expecting you to be experts in all of them, understanding them. So if they ask you a question of them, can you answer them? And that is just how it goes. So let me take you straight up to my presentation. So now I have 10 more minutes. So what is Power Platform? So we have the Power Automate. The one in blue, the first one is the Power Automate. The Power Automate helps you to automate processes in different locations of the Power Platform cloud technology. So you're using Power Automate to do so many things. You're connecting even Outlook to Excel to Power BI, anything that you want to connect. You want to even send an email, you want to automate so many processes. Power Automate does that for you. Then you have the Power BI, which is the yellow. Now the Power BI is just your analytic. The analytic tool of Microsoft really is just Power BI, and Azure is using Power BI. Microsoft 365 using Power BI, Power Platform, the Power Apps, Power Automate, the Power Virtual Agent, they are all using Power BI. What are they trying to do? Just analyze the data. So if you can analyze data, you want really to use Power BI to analyze your data. And you have your Power Apps. Power Apps is you building low-code application. So the highest career level for a Power Apps developer is a solution architect. Microsoft tried to make you become solution people than just building application for building's sake. No, they want you to build solutions for your company or for any company that you are. And in the Power Apps, we have the community plan. So maybe I'm going to share the community plan later. You have a community plan whereby you can test any application that you're building. You can't take it into production for people to use, but you can always build just for practice. And when you build for practice, then you can always use that to scale up, and you can say, oh, I'm good in Power Apps, I'm good in Power Automate. Then your Power Virtual Agent are your low-code chatbots. So whereby if you go to any website, you always see a bot that is trying to chat you up, that is trying to answer your question. That is what Power Virtual Agent does. It's an intelligent chatbot that helps you to do so many things. So if you think that people always ask you some repeated questions, put them on PVA. We call it PVA, and it just automates those processes for you, and you can concentrate on other things. So who is the person that has been speaking to you? Since this is David, I'm just 2 months old in Microsoft. Yeah, Adedoyin said Microsoft is the best, really. Yeah, we are the best company in the whole world right now. And that is what we do. we just try to make it easier. Like should just get easy. Cloud advocacy, the cloud computing, to Microsoft 365, to Azure, to Power Platform, to even Windows 365 that we have new now. Our aim is just to make you get better at what you do. Just get better at what you do. IoT, serverless, so everything. We just want you to just get better. And my role in Microsoft is Power BI. I just want everybody in the whole world to just fall in love with Power BI. That's it. So now, one of the real thing people ask is that how many companies even use Power Platform? So we're going to watch this video in 5 minutes, then I'm going to have 3 minutes to close it up. So let's see. Let's watch this video and let's see what we can learn in this video. I hope we can hear. I'm not sure if we can hear, but I think I have to just reshare. So let me see. Let me reshare again. I think so that everybody can listen to this video. Coming. So I have to include computer sound and good. So now I'm going to click on the video and I hope we can all hear.
So G&J Pepsi, we've been around for about 100 years. We have 13 locations in central, southern Ohio, eastern Kentucky. We have about 1,600 employees. We got into Power Apps about 18 months ago. We were in during the beta program. We really drive to kind of look for those next cutting edge technologies that's going to enhance our business, enhance revenue, and cut costs, and also kind of just streamline our business and make our people more efficient so we can sell more product. So we were trying to do a lot more with mobile, but we didn't have any professional developers on staff in order to do that. When we saw Power Apps, it just felt like a no-brainer for us. We fell in love with it. We were working with it even before it went to general availability. When Microsoft did launch Power Apps in GA or general availability, we went live with our first application.
So Eric has never really done a lot of app development around here or any real programming development for us. Most of his work has been in the cloud space. So when he took over at Power Apps, it was really a new beginning for him to start programming apps for G&J. So it was unique to see how quickly he went from almost zero programming skills to developing a full app and rolling that out in literally 3 to 4 months.
The Store Audit Center in Power Apps allows us to quickly communicate any kind of tasks that need to complete in the marketplace to our account managers and communicate driver notes to our drivers, routing instructions to our logistics team, and also follow up on any out of stocks or signage issues.
We can't have empty shelves, right? We just can't lose to our competition just because we have empty shelves. That's where Power Apps comes into play. That's where Flow comes into play. That's where Power BI comes into play. Is they're helping us, ensure proper execution. They're helping us improve on execution. They're exposing where we're not executing.
Every day we have 70 to 80 trucks running out of this building. They have 140 different parking spots that those trucks can be put in. As you can see, all the trucks look the same. If you're a driver, how do you know which truck is yours for the day?
Why do you need an application to tell a guy what spot you're in? But when you talk about the size and the amount of trucks that Columbus has, that we can't have drivers who have, certain windows to meet to deliver products that our customers walking through our parking lot.
So we developed an app that allows the warehouse to mark where each truck is parked. In the morning, the driver simply opens his phone, checks his email, and it tells him exactly where his truck is parked.
So good. So now if you noticed, they used everything on Power Apps to create something called automation. So the whole world is going into automation. Automation. And if you can understand that, then that is the next level in which you can create value. So creating value is the next thing that can get you into a job cycle. If you cannot create value, nobody really wants somebody to just come in. And even companies really, even though they want to retrain you and train you again, because of remotes right now, they just send you so many YouTube videos to watch. There is no taking you to different locations where everybody sit down in class. So it's now depend on you to learn, to just learn. So how do you build? You're trying to either upskill yourself or reskill yourself. Upskilling means that you have some skill before and you want to upskill it to take it to the next level. Reskilling means that, oh, there are some that are obsolete right now, but you need to reskill them and you need to get better and put your face out there. So the whole idea is to understand that, oh, if I'm going into Power Platform, then what are the things that are available for me? And these are all the skills that are available for you to work on. So the real thing that you're asking yourself is that, what do I need? So the first thing, there are two things I want you to know. You need to be sound in one thing. Power Platform is 4. You need to be sound in one. Then maybe you can understand the background of all others. Like me now, I don't know the 4. Like I can't tell you that I'm expert in 4, but at least when you give me Power BI, I can dissect Power BI, but I might not be expert in the 4. So, but know one very well. Like when they wake you up, you know that one. Then the other 3, then you can build your skill across that. Then you begin to show the world what you know. Nobody, I said it from the beginning, I said, nobody wants the perfect person. Everybody is learning. Everybody is building every time. So that is the whole thing for you. Somebody is in the background. Okay, so another thing is start today. That is the action plan for me to boost your career. Start today. Don't keep it waiting. Don't keep it waiting. I started Azure last week, and I'm started learning Python again too. So I'm good in Power Platform already, but I'm already entering into Azure too, because I'm trying to connect both Power Platform and Azure together. So read and study material, speak to an audience. Now I speak to Foyin. I say, Foyin, let me teach you something I learned today. Or Olajumoke, let me teach you something I've learned today. The more you begin to teach people, the more you understand them. That is how we know things, really. That is the way we know. And again, focus on one thing at a time. When you're knowing something in 1 month, I want to focus on this. In the next month, I want to focus on this. And immediately you understand something. Let's say you go to Microsoft Learn and you learn something. Try and just do the certification. Immediately, it just authenticates that you've learned something. And brand yourself, sell yourself. See, you knowing something is different from you branding yourself. A whole lot of people know things, but they don't know how to brand and sell them. A lot of people might not know my story, but if you know my story, you definitely know that I know, I brand, and I sell. As in, I'm so good at those 3 things. like I know, I brand, I sell. I am so good at that. And some people say that, when did you start Power BI, that you're not working in Microsoft? I started Power BI in 2019, and I'm working in Microsoft within the space of 2 years. It's just because I brand, I know myself, and I sell. And again, I do free things. I do a whole lot of free things, free things I give to the community. Right now, yesterday, I'm just coming from Bayelsa yesterday because I went to do free things. So really, if you're not ready to do free things for people might not be ready to do free things for you too. So it's a give and take. It's creating value. So if you cannot create value for people, even for free, they might not want to pay the next time. So that is the way you need brand and sell. So another thing is join community. Now you're in Textilers, join community. The power of community cannot be overemphasized. You need to join a community. That is the biggest way to win. You need to have people that can say that, is it not David? I know him. Is it not Jumoke? I know her. Is it not Victoria? I know her. People should be able to trust you anywhere. You can't be a lone ranger if you want to go far. You have to have people that can say, oh, I know her. I know him. So that is the next thing. Now, in 1 minute, network. If you are not ready to network, sincerely, just learn the skills and sit down. Just learn it and just sit down. Because networking actually just take everything you've learned to the next step. See, the first thing that can make you get a job, maybe in an IT company, might be your skill. But after that, your skill gets to that entry-level job. The next thing is network. Sincerely, why I said that is because I before coming into Microsoft, I train banks, I train multinationals, and I see people that I teach Excel. And like, how will you get to this point of your life without knowing Excel? But I begin to understand that Excel, they don't sleep and wake up in Excel. I'm the one that sleep and wake up in Excel, not them. They have other things they are doing. But one thing is this, they still network to get to other levels. Networking is so important that it makes you travel more than you know, because you are networking, you are meeting people, you are just saying, hi, how can I know you? Hi, how can I be of help? I see what you're doing. How can I help you? Networking, you don't even know where your next job will come in if you are not networking, if you are not joining a community. And one of the ways to network is join a community, because I know you, you know me. That is the only way, and I see your progress. That is the only way. I was speaking to Guy in a Cube. I don't know, maybe you guys know Guy in a Cube. I was speaking to him. He works in Microsoft also, and he was like, David, I've watched your video on YouTube. Sincerely, I don't have up to 20 videos. And he said, I watched your video on YouTube. Guy in a Cube watched my video. And I was like, wow. So sell yourself, brand yourself, but still do the work, network with people. That is the only way you can really win. And what is my take home for you? You need to register in these sessions that TechStyler is trying to do for different career paths that you're planning to do, product, any tech, M365, Power BI, Power Apps. Do this, and before you know, share your story. The only way I love, because I'm a cloud advocate for Microsoft, is you sharing your story. Always tag me. I'm happy. I love people tagging me to things, because I want to see your progress. Even in Nigeria, for those abroad, sincerely, I should not lie, you guys have more opportunity than us. I have to be sincere. But the real truth is that for us in Nigeria, for us in Africa, we do times 2 times 3 of effort to get there. And that is why I tell people in Nigeria, I tell people everywhere I go to, I said, see, sell yourself, sell yourself. Even the little knowledge that you think people know, they don't know how to open a system. So people don't know. And you think, no, now it's not just open a system. No, share that little that you know, share it. People are looking for that little that you know. So if you can share that little that you know, if you can join and register the TechStylers programs that is going to be happening in the next 1 month, 2 months, sincerely, you see how you've grown, And I love what my sister, she will always say, that David, I knew you in 2019, and how do you get from 2019 working in Deep Brown and in 2021, like the next global power platform that we'll be having in Unilag? Imagine people who knew me in 2019, they knew I was saying the story of Deep Brown. Now the next thing they're hearing now, I'm saying the story of Microsoft. It is because I did 3 things. I learned, I brand myself, I sell myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, David. Ginger. David Ginger. Thank you so much, David. Sell yourself. David has said it all. Sell yourself. But before you can sell something, you have to have the product, right? You have to have the value that you want to sell. So let's get the value. Let's ensure that we get the value. All right. Thank you, David, for your time. Doyin needs to drop off. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, particularly for her, or the speaker that spoke before David, Adedoyin. If you have something you'd like to ask her about, maybe her growth, how she grew very quickly up the ladder, or about how she's keeping all the balls in the air. We spent so much time talking yesterday about our lives as mothers and wives and career women and this one and that one. So any questions at all, you can like raise your hand or mute your mic. Okay, no questions. All right, so I don't see any hands up. Thank you so much, Doyin, for your time with us. We've shared your LinkedIn link here, so I'm sure people can reach out to you and connect with you on LinkedIn for further discussions. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great weekend. Okay, so our time is 5 minutes over time. I would just go through my slides in 5-7 minutes and we'll be done for today. I hope we have had a good time so far. Let me just share my screen. So Yinka has started out introducing TechStylers at the beginning of the session, who we are, what we do, and all of that. I want to talk a bit about the cohorts. So we had our first TechStylers TechDeepDive cohorts a few months ago, and we spent about 3 months teaching ladies how to use technology across 5 tracks. We had 500+ registrations, and these are the different tracks that we covered during the first cohort of the TechStylers Deep Dive. And I want to say big thank you to our Textilers Tech Mentors. Thank you so much for every Saturday coming online for 1 hour. Some classes stretch to 2 hours, like Tosin's class. And I'm like, Tosi, we don't have to do 2 hours. And she says, no, don't worry, ma. I just want to make sure that the ladies understand this Microsoft Azure fully. And, she takes her time to explain. We also had Michelle from Netherlands coming to take us on artificial intelligence and mixed reality with Power Apps. We had Peace on Power Automate, then our very own Olajumoke taking Microsoft 365, all by herself, running the sessions through. I just tried to help her with one session. So she would say, Foyin, I didn't see you. So we also had Victoria and Amara with Power App session, super session that they took. Then we had our Power BI data engineer ladies, Olaya, Chioma and Gloria, Olayinka, Chioma and Gloria. And then I also joined Peace to take the Power Automate class. And that was really the first cohort. So big, massive thank you to the Textilers Tech Mentors. Of course, it's completely community driven. We didn't pay them for their time that they had invested. And we're saying a big thank you to them for the time spent. Now I'm going to move to the testimonials. I think it's important to hear 3 super stories of our ladies who were part of the first cohorts. You may understand what's the big deal about it. Well, when you hear their stories, hopefully you'll be inspired and you would be determined to join the second cohort and to stay committed through the journey. So we have 3 ladies, Sarah, Lavender, and Onape, who were all part of different classes in the cohort 1 of our Textilers Tech Deep Dive. And they're just going to tell us how their experience went within like 2-3 minutes and why they think you should also be a part of it. Okay, so who's going first, Yinka? Maybe Sarah. Your mic is on mute. Stop sharing my screen.
Sorry, Sarah is up. Sarah is up first.
Okay, she's up on the screen. All right, Sarah. Hi.
Hi, is my camera on? I can't. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, hi everyone, I'm Sarah, and I just actually recently got my first tech job, and Textilers was definitely a huge part of that, and keeping motivated and encouraged. So at the start, I decided to train retrain in tech, and specifically in AWS at first. So I researched that area extensively and decided it would be really good to get into the cloud space. So I applied to that and thankfully got accepted. And that also taught me a lot of fundamental tech skills and cemented my interest. So after that, I started the job search again. I was back applying to lots of jobs, and that was a struggle, a lot of tears and rejection, but I made sure to remain like curious, open-minded, and motivated. Personally, at that time in my journey, I didn't want to restrict myself to certain technologies, and so that's why I went to Microsoft after learning AWS. But most importantly, like mentorship helped me a lot, and speaking to talented and accomplished people made me want to work harder. So that like led me to keep going and not to lose hope. And then eventually some good news came, and about a month ago I got my first tech job, which is great. So I started So I started as a customer support engineer at 5tran, which is a startup, and they actually leverage all 3 of the biggest cloud providers. So I'm kind of like learning a bit about everything, which is very exciting. And I actually got a new water bottle the other day for the company, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, so so since starting, I'm actually the first entry-level person they've had, which has put a lot of pressure, and I feel kind of some imposter syndrome, but I think that's normal. So I'm just trying to take every day as it comes and to remain positive and take small wins and just do my best. But looking back and like seeing how far I've come, it's been amazing. I'm so proud of myself, and some of like the top highlights and like the most rewarding moments definitely came from like the mentorship I've received from Textilers and then from other places as well. it's really, really helped me stay positive, stay motivated. And I can't thank you guys enough. It makes me emotional to know and to reflect on it. But yeah, I encourage everyone to just like keep working and take these opportunities and like just be prepared to work hard. Even if you don't end up using the technology you're studying, it looks so good on your CV. Like my interviewers were all like impressed by how much I like reached out and looked at different areas. So in terms of curiosity, motivation, and of course, like learning patterns are always transferable. So it's just a win-win, like in every like well, it doesn't matter how you look at it. But yeah, that's basically my story. So yeah, thank you so much for letting me talk. It was such an honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining the call, for sharing your story, and also for making it as real as it was, right? The fact that, you know, you actually got a few rejections, you actually felt discouraged at some point, but you kept pushing. And I think that part of the story is really good because a lot of people have experienced rejection and they just get, you know, laid back and they stop pushing, they stop moving ahead. So it's good to know that somebody kept pushing and the person you've eventually gotten a tech role, right? So that's really, really super encouraging and important. And, you know, thank you also for making mention of Techstylers. You know, having the communities to support you and also having the mentors is also a very key part of the journey. All right, thank you for coming up. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, Onape, you're up next.
All right. Hi, good evening, everybody.
Hi, good evening.
All right. I'm sorry this place is dark, but because of time, I'll just rush through my experience with Techstylers. So I was in the data analysis stream. And I would say, I'll be very honest, I would say that wasn't my first exposure to Power BI, but all the courses I bought and all the trainings I tried to do, to be very honest, I wasn't just getting it. Like not that they were not good, but I guess I wasn't getting the foundation, which was very important to me because that is how I learn. But, you know, coming to Techstylers, apart from the fact that, yeah, it was open, it was free, I think I determined within myself that I must succeed because I'm almost sure I was one of the, you know, most vocal persons on the call, which I'm not ordinarily, I'm not someone like that. And I would say that the mentors also made it easier. Like they will always ask, do you have questions? Are there any questions? And, you know, sometimes it's just awkward for everything to be silent and you have some questions, but they will always encourage us, like ask and all the rest. And the assignments, I know I'm no longer a student, but you know, when they give you assignments of things you haven't learned and you have to go and research while you're looking at this thing, you're also stumbling on some other things and you're like, oh yeah, okay. And you know, all of those activities were helping me to cement like the foundation I needed. So when we come to class and we discuss on things, I'm like, oh yeah, it's making sense. And to be honest, I had a fantastic time. I missed one of my classes, but you know, when you have classes or even the ones I attended, I was always wanting to rewatch the videos during the week. I was always disturbing Yinka and Foyin. Please, when are you when are you uploading? Even if I don't have the time, I just want it playing in the background, like, okay, just be playing. And you know, when I can concentrate on the videos, I can. But the ladies made it, our mentors made everything so simple. And I would say at this point that if you're a beginner, if you are someone, okay, I would say I was like a 0 person, like in terms of my experience or my competency, I was 0. But trust me, even if you're sub-0, these ladies are ready to take you from that level to somewhere you're very comfortable with. I was just struggling to, you know, learn and all the rest, but they made me very comfortable. And what happened was, coincidentally, I was also looking for a job. I wanted to change my job at the time. And I applied for one and they said, oh, you need Power BI. I saw it on the job description. I was like, yeah, Power BI, okay. And when they gave me the brief, they were like, you present a Power BI you do a Power BI presentation to us. I was like, what? And I thought they were going to give me the data, so I was still expecting stuff. I didn't realize until 2 days to my interview that I was supposed to get the data myself and do the presentation. I was in a frenzy. I just called the Olayinka. Okay, this is what I've set. I've set myself up already for this kind of thing. And she was like, don't worry, you can do it. Take our data set. So I tried, doing what we had done in class with our data set, sent it to Yinka. Hey, as you'd expect, because Yinka always, she likes giving us assignments. That's how Yinka gave me lists of things that she had, things I'd never heard before. I had top end level. I had this one, like, I don't even know all of these things. But the fact that I think another thing is it's you might not know everything about a particular thing. Or I'm talking from my experience with Excel. For Excel, for example, I don't know everything, but the fact that I know that something exists in Excel, if I need to use it, then I know I need to go and research. I don't need to know the formula offhand, but at least if you know it exists or it's something you can do, then you can research by the time you want to use it. So that was what she did for me. Like, she just gave me the laundry list. I was like, okay. And then I had to go and look for, okay, how do you do this thing? What does it actually mean? And all of that. So, I did all of those things. I was, I sent it to her. I presented on my phone, voice note, sent it to Yinka. Yinka was like, it's fine. If I just move this around, okay, let's do this, let's have a session. And, she really helped me, I must say. Like, I disturbed her, and, she was very fantastic. And during my presentation for the interview, everything went well. I presented. And, because I was researching based on all the assignments she gave me, I was able to talk intelligently about some things. They were asking questions. I was like, I've not done this, but this is how you do it. This is how you do it. I was making sense to them. And luckily for me, I got that job. But, I'm sorry, I'm trying to rush because of our time, actually. But luckily for me, I got that job. But I also applied for some other jobs. And in the second interview, I had some few days after that, they were like, oh, do you know how to use Power BI? And I was like, oh yeah, I do. I know how to use Power BI. Would you like to see something I've done in Power BI? And they were like, oh yes. And I just brought out that same dashboard that's built for the other job. I just brought it out, took them through, presented, this is how you do this, blah, 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 blah. They were asking me questions. Oh, have you access control? I was like, yeah, I can do it. I've never done it, but I was very truthful, but I was making sense to them. And because I had this thing I'd done, I was even the one that prompted that, would you like to see something I've done and all the rest? And they were very impressed with it. And they also offered me the job. And I had more than 2 jobs, but I've changed my job actually, and I'm not working with any of the 2 companies. But what the whole session gave me was the confidence. Like, when you're even the one telling them, okay, let me take you through this thing. And even now, I'm not struggling with Power BI. Like, I think I know what I'm doing to a reasonable extent, or to a beginner extent level competency. I think I know what I'm doing. And I would say that all of that is, all thanks to Textilers, to the mentors, because trust me, I was struggling. Like, I was really, 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 really struggling with it. And although on my job, I'm not using Power BI, but I still intend to, to have my portfolio of Power BI stuff, such that if an opportunity comes up again, who knows, I may want to, go on to do other things. And I'm like, this is my portfolio of things I've done in Power BI, or things I'm doing in my new job, and all of that. But I would say that majorly, some of the things that helped me, the mentors were very, very, like, they explained, maybe they spoke my language, like the Yoruba I understand. Maybe that was what they were speaking to me during the sessions, because I just understood them. And I'm not even joking. They spoke my language. They went to, the basics, and the assignments really helped. And the fact that, they were always there to help. So thank you very much. You guys telling me I need to go up. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Onape, for sharing your story with us. Thank you for the feedback on the Textilers deep dive session. You know, like Sarah mentioned, we don't really know which of these skills we're going to use, but the major thing is you are moving, you are learning, you're increasing yourself, and that's what every employer wants to see. They want to see that, oh, what has this person been doing? You know, what have you been working on? What have you been doing? And then they see that you're able to learn this and do this and do that, and then they know that you're an agile person. There is really nothing that you cannot jump on and pick. All right, so we have Lavender. I'm not sure, is she on? I think she is. Lavender, you're up next.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, yes, we can.
Okay, let me just turn on my video. Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see you. Okay. So I'm a textiler, and I'm going to summarize my experience in just 3 words. First of all, it was challenging, and I mean challenging in the best way possible. This is because it was able to test my abilities. I was in the Power Apps track and the Power BI, but mainly in the Power Apps. The Power BI was just as a by the way, because I knew I also wanted to be there. But it was challenging in the sense that the classes on Saturday, they enabled me to open up my mind. Like, I knew you could do so much with Power Apps, but I didn't know you could do that much that I learned in those classes with Power Apps. And just like the way people are giving testimonies, I also became like a pro in Power Apps in the company that I'm currently at. So if anybody has a question with Power Apps, it's Lavender who will help you with that. And I love that actually, because there's literally no one else who you can go to with Power Apps. And I was also able to create a leave management system for our team. And I owe it all to Textilers, because after that, I was also able to confidently take up tasks that I wouldn't say I didn't know before, but I wasn't sure of them before. But now after going through the classes, I was confident enough to actually volunteer myself to take up the tasks. And I would say it was also collaborative, my experience. And just like everyone else has said it, whenever you hit a brick wall, when you're going through your whole, like your task or everything, and you hit a brick wall, you could always go to the Textilers group, or you could, not the group actually, because it's only, you can only send messages if you're an admin, but you could just easily message Foyin or Yinka, and they would be able to help you, or post your message on the group, and someone would definitely reach out to help you. And last but not least, it was fun. And I'm sure you know by now, since we've already had this session today, and we have these sessions every month, and this session was definitely fun. The classes are, let's say, twice as much, twice as fun as these sessions are. And I have enjoyed myself, and I'm glad to be a textiler. And it also gave me the courage to do my exam for Power Apps. I'm sure most of you saw that on my LinkedIn, and I passed with flying colors. And yeah, I was very confident when I was going to that exam, because I could hear the trainers' voices sometimes in the questions that I would get, and I would be confident that, yes, this is the answer. So yeah, I would say the experience was great, and I would encourage anyone who is here that hasn't joined the group to join it. You will definitely gain from it. You'll not leave the same way you had come in. You'd leave with more skills and more knowledge.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And yes, we saw the post about the exam, and it was really nice. And I mean, I'm excited to hear that you've started creating applications within your organization. That's really nice to know. All right, so we've heard from 3 wonderful ladies. Thank you for sharing your stories, for joining us, for staying true on the Tech Deep Dive sessions. Now we're going to start the second cohort, and we're starting in September 18th, to be precise. And these are going to be the areas we're going to focus on. The Power Platform, that's Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, Power BI. And we're going to do Microsoft Azure and also Microsoft 365. So if you're interested in joining the second cohort, please register with the link shared by Yinka. And she has shared it again. You can click on it, and you can also forward it to other ladies who you know want to learn technology but not sure how to get started, or want to start on the Microsoft track, please give them the link and let them sign up. Then we're going to include two interesting things in this cohort. The first thing we're going to include is the 360 mentors. As a feedback from the first cohort, we felt that some of the ladies felt a kind of disconnect, because they were just coming to the classes on Saturday and they wouldn't connect with the mentors again until the next Saturday. So what we want to do now is we want to have those that we're going to call 360 mentors, right? 360 mentors. And the purpose of 360 mentors is, for example, if I'm a 360 mentor, I'll be assigned as many mentees as I want from those who are in the cohorts, maybe 2 mentees. And my role is to ensure that they are fine in the tech sessions. So I would say, okay, how is the tech session going? Are you okay? Do you have any challenges? Maybe maybe you're trying to set up an environment or you don't have an environment to test, or maybe you don't have access to Azure, all of those kind of things. I can give you guidance on how to do that. Then apart from technology, we've spoken a lot, Adedoyin and Olajumoke have spoken a lot about SWOT analysis, about soft skill, about transferable skills. So we start to talk to you about all of those elements, to say, okay, what's your roadmap? What's your view? Where do you want to go to? What do you have in mind? What are your skills? What do you find easy to do? And then we start to build that map together. And we say, okay, so how are we moving from point A to point B? What do we need to get there? Do we have the answers? We don't? Okay, let's try to find the answers. I'm just basically helping you map out your journey, your tech journey, and ensuring that you're also building yourself in other areas, outside of technology. A couple of people wanted to or have attended interviews or wanted to have interviews, and I was having a chat with them. I discovered that a lot of us don't even know how to attend an interview session properly. What you should say, how to sell yourself. Like David has told us, sell yourself. A lot of us don't know how to sell ourselves. We're just techies. So all of those things are the things that the 360 mentors are going to cover. So that's what we're bringing that, and the mentors are going to be very experienced women in the tech industry, even if they are not necessarily in Microsoft's track, but those that are very experienced that can help and support you to grow. And then the other thing we're going to introduce is a day in the life of, and this is an initiative from Techstylers in partnership with Ara Foundation, which is Adedoyin's foundation. And the idea is, okay, you want to be a security admin. Do you have any idea of what happens in a security admin's life, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to find a security admin and connect you with that person. And you will have a one-on-one session with that person. What's your day like? What does it really mean to be a security administrator? And the person can say, oh, I spend all my mornings answering emails or dealing with vulnerability, something. And you're like, I didn't know, I thought security admins do something else. So that would also help and shape that roadmap we are talking about. So when you start to have these sessions with people who are already in the role that you desire to go into, it gives more insights. So Adedoyin is going to really support us with that through her foundation and help us tap into her network of all of the guys and ladies that she knows, and we'll set up the one-on-one sessions for those who have signed up for the Techstylers Deep Dive. All right, so connecting it all together, this is from doing slides around Microsoft Azure, all of the things you can be: engineer, admin, an architect, a developer, and a program manager. This from Olajumoke's slide telling us all of the certifications that are available in Microsoft 365. And this below came from David's slide telling us all of the possible opportunities and roles you can play in the Power Platform. That said, I would like to thank you for staying true to the end of the session. I've kept my eyes on the number of attendees, and I'm super excited to say that the numbers didn't drop throughout the session. So what that says to us is our session has been very engaging and people were like, oh, this is too boring, I need to do other things. You really found value in the session, and we say a big thank you for joining us. I don't know if you have any questions at all as we call it a day for today's inspirational session. So let's sign up, those of us that want to join the Tech Deep Dive session. second cohort starting in September, middle of September. Please fill the forms. If anybody's interested in being a 360-degree mentor, you believe you have what it takes to mentor and you have the time, please reach out to Yinka or myself or Jumoke. And if you have any questions, you can unmute your mic and ask. If not, anybody, any hands up? No. Okay.
Sorry, someone asked in the chat window, are men allowed to join this session?
Yes, actually, yes. Because somebody said to me that you guys, all of you are just facing the women. You want us to and then you want us to have a next generation where the men don't even understand, you know, we're talking about another 10 years time when all the women have been learning everything, and we've not been teaching the men. We don't want that. We still want a balanced economy. So yes, if you don't mind joining a class that is full of women, you are welcome to join us. Jumoke, I hope I'm correct.
Absolutely, you are.
Yes, you're welcome to join. We're being a bit more open in our second year. Our first year, we're like, no, don't join us. So you know how it is now. No, don't join us. But now we're 2 years old. We are older. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. If the men want to join us, you are most welcome. Okay. All right. Is that Jumoke? Can you say any other questions?
No. That's
We are having the data classes. Okay. Yinka has answered. Yes. So we're going to have a data class. We're going to have Power Apps, Power Automate, Microsoft 365, and Azure. So those are the areas that we're going to cover in the next cohorts. All right. It was really nice talking to us, ladies. Thank you so much for joining the call. Have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you next month.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Onape. Thank you, Lavender. Thank you so much for joining us. And all our speakers, Jumoke, David, and Doyin Absentia, we super appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.